everybody. Welcome back to Superman and Lois TV Talk. This is our episode for Season 1, Episode 7, Man of Steel. My name's Derek.
My name's Robin.
I usually say I'm Derek. You have it typed out, and I'm reading. Who put a question on the teleprompter? You know Derek reads whatever he says, whatever
Derek
he reads.
Russell?
Yeah, I'm Ron Burke. Go screw yourself, Smallville. Thanks for keeping the faith while I was gone.
Oh, well, oh, wait a second. Didn't we need a third is there a third person here?
No. I mean, we do need him, but he's not here.
Oh.
I miss him.
Okay, well.
I don't know why we can't all be here at the same time, but...
Yeah, everybody. I mean, this is an ongoing joke. They basically take turns with me.
Yeah.
So, thanks for listening.
Well, you only get 1 week with Robin. Basically, we're divorced parents, and we're swapping you back. We're swapping you back and forth from week to week.
All right. Well,
nothing on my keeping the faith.
We can't. No, we
yes,
can't.
We can.
Did we have?
Yes, we can.
How many people emailed and complained about that last week?
We can do it. I'm gonna stick your ass. I'm gonna stick your ass just like grade school. I don't remember that Billy Joel song. I don't remember that Billy Joel song at all. That's a weird Billy Joel song. That is definitely not from The Stranger. That may be from Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. I can't remember. I do appreciate you guys. Go ahead. Get one in. Oh
no, I did. I was going to say that was that's some Metropolis slang that we're not too hip to.
Would you not think? Okay, I was watching Broken Trust because I didn't get to talk about it, and I just expected Metropolis to have this huge stadium, like this state of the art screen, electronic billboard, video screen, billboard, whatever they call them.
Right.
Yay, sports. Derek's not doing too well tonight.
Yeah, big Spartan mascot.
I expected more. Well, no, it'd be the Sharks, wouldn't it? There'd be a shark mascot.
No, they're the Spartans.
Yeah, I know. I had to put a penny in the jar for that other. When we watch Bleep.
Yeah, I got the jar here, so.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Anytime.
I feel like I'm failing tonight at this. Well, we have lots to talk about, so we could just get into it. We could also tell you that you have here in front of me while I'm reading the teleprompter that Superman and Lois will be back for Season 2. We already knew that, Robin. We already knew Season 2 was happening.
But we didn't know when. I was thinking maybe I could be spoiled and it could just start immediately after Season 1 ends. Maybe give us a couple weeks break and then boom, Season 2 starts in the fall. But no, it's early 2022.
Which it was early 2021. So it's not, it may sound like it's going to be bad, but it really won't because Season 1 will not wrap until August.
Right.
So it's going to kind of be, October, September, November, December. You know them. You're familiar with the months, with the Gregorian calendar. You know how kind of that rolls around. So
I've always been a calendar man.
Come January, we'll be back again.
You know that Billy Joel song, Calendar Man?
He's friends with Polka Dot Man. So that's
Tell
good
us
news.
Some holidays. I'm the Calendar Man.
Oh God, he was really reaching in those later years, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Good to know when we can expect to see the show again. Very excited for Season 2. Very excited. Of course, we have lots to go to, but it does sound like if you're doing the math, which we all know Robin loves to do, and I was told there would be no math. Also, did you get the reference that he talks about being Superman for 20 years?
Uh-huh.
In this one?
Yep.
Yeah. Did that just infuriate you more or less?
It just constantly confuses me.
What is that? How does it work?
I'm just going with it. I was like, oh, maybe they're just completely divorcing things off from what's been going on in the CW verse. And then all of a sudden the multiverse came into question this week. So
we'll get there. But yeah, in the truck, she throws out the multiverse. I'm like, well, it took you 7 episodes, but it's good to know that we remember what happened. I really thought at this point we were going to get down to Diggle showing up, and we'd have to Martian Manhunter everybody back to. Excuse me. I'm going to try to edit out the coughing, but I have had a horrible allergies this year, so for whatever reason,
all the XK.
It's all that XK in the caves. I tried to scan it, but it was lead lined. So so if I forget a cough, pardon me. I'll probably forget that one right there that started the whole thing.
Right, now you got to leave this whole explanation in because
God.
if you do forget a cough.
Look, it's been I haven't done an episode since we talked about it. It's been 15 years since we started Startful's House of L. We celebrated 15 years a couple weeks ago, and somewhere along 15 years, you're just like, I don't really want to edit anymore. That they're going to get whatever we put out. It's all unedited. You're going to get the whole thing. All of it.
You just kind of as time passes, you just go, you know what? People like more,
and so this is probably a better antidote for you and I and Frank's group text. But I had to take my mother somewhere yesterday, out of state, and I was trying to tell her about a subject. And I said, I bet there's a podcast on it. You know me. I don't really listen to podcasts. I said, I'm sure there's a podcast on. There's a podcast on everything. So sure enough, I found 6-7 different podcasts. Played up the first one. I was like, oh, okay. Now they're talking about merch. Okay, now they're talking about 19 minutes and 34 seconds before they ever got to the subject of what we actually needed. What I was actually looking for, the actual episode topic. It was infuriating. So
that's true.
Now I know how you all feel. So that being said, let's get into the episode breakdown of Man of Steel.
Well, actually, before we get into that, listen, is there anything else going on in our personal lives that maybe nobody's particularly interested in that we could babble on about for a while?
How much we miss Frank? Because we do.
Yeah, we do miss Frank.
We do miss Frank.
That's true.
Frank is Frank's the spleen of this show. We couldn't do it without him. Can you live without the spleen? I don't know. No, Frank is. I
know Frank could save me,
and I do. Well, I do want to say. I want to say that, and this is related to Superman, so it's not off topic whatsoever. Frank gets on here last time, and he's waxing poetic about me and about Tim and about you and say all these work. This Save Me is Frank's baby, and Frank, if you're not listening to Save Me, please do yourself a favor, even if you didn't watch Smallville. If you're just a Superman fan, you never got into Smallville, go. I'm going to be broke by the end of this episode. Go do yourself a favor. Go to Apple Podcasts. Go to wherever you listen to podcasts. Find Save Me, the Smallville anthology. It's spectacular what he pulled off. It really is. And I'm not just blowing smoke up his, cape. I really think he had a vision for what he wanted this podcast to be, and he achieved it. And what's incredible to me is seemingly, he made it look easy. He just made it look so, like, I listened to it and I was like, I don't know how you did that. I've been doing this 15 years. I have no idea how you did that and did it so superbly. I just was in awe of what he was able to do. It is not your run-of-the-mill. It's not this kind of back and forth. It is a straightforward documentary podcast about the making, the creation, the production, the 10-year haul of Smallville. And I encourage you to go listen. Now, let's talk about Superman and Lois. Because Derek didn't bring his wallet tonight.
Yeah, right.
Who keeps coins in a wallet?
Wait, you don't have a little change purse inside your wallet? Just for the tolls?
I don't. The toll, yeah, all the Mississippi tolls. You know about those, right?
Oh yeah, the Mississippi Tolls. That was my band back in. So shall we get into Man of Steel and maybe? Well, oh gosh, we have so much to talk about. We have some huge revelations. I don't know if we want to get into it immediately or if we want to kind of take care of some of the smaller stuff in this episode first.
I'm going to let you pick because you masterfully again did our episode breakdown. So you pick how you want to roll on this one.
Well, let's just get the facts out of the way first.
Just the
This was
facts.
written by Jay Jameson or Jai Jameson. I'm not sure. This is his first episode he's written ever, I think, and also is directed by David Ramsey, we all know as John Diggle.
As the John Diggle.
Yes.
We shall see if he's actually Green Lantern or not.
And so let's get into our first chapter. Getting the small stuff out of the way. Let's talk about Lana's plot line.
Okay.
Did you see the chapter title I have in our notes?
I do.
What can you read that out?
Lana dates.
No.
No.
You got to read that correctly. It's Lana dates, like candidates, right? Anyway, so
put a quarter in the jar. I don't care if you said that word or not. Just I feel like you owe us for that one. Okay, thank you.
All right, so this part of the episode, this C plot, D plot, because there's so many different things going on in this episode, is all about how Lana is being put in charge of finding candidates for this young executives program. And, since she's been kind of woke by Lois, she's not exactly trying to do her best job at doing this. So we get a little bit of, office play in Edge Entercorp. And can I just say right off the bat, why does Morgan Edge's office look so shabby?
Well, I mean, he's a man of means, but he also doesn't really have ties to anything. So you're not going to see pictures and things of that nature. I don't really see Edge being that kind of person. It's very straight-laced, very business.
I mean, the whole, like, his office, and then, just the office as he's kind of walking with Lana through the building. I was just like, can't spruce this place up a little bit?
Well, also assume this is just the Smallville office. His Metropolis office is much nicer.
Okay.
You should see his Granville office.
Oh, well, that place is cleaned right out, I'm sure. So yeah, this is some stuff that was kind of even hinted, earlier when Morgan started focusing in on Lana, and so he's looking for people of potential, and we're assuming that this is he's looking for people to be possessed. There was a word they used earlier, right?
Yeah.
With whatever's coming out of the XK. And Leslie is the only one that seems to work on.
I am so sick.
Far.
I am so sick of Leslie Lar, and that's just a credit to how good the actress is playing her to make her hate them. But I hate her. I hate her so much. Fantastic acting job. Hate her. No, I'm just kidding.
I honestly wonder what makes her so special. They keep hinting at, like, saying, "Oh, it's just things keep failing on this person or that person," and for some reason it worked with Leslie. And then
because she's a ginger, right?
That's it.
Should have been doing it all redheads all along, using all redheads for the candidates.
So is Lex Luthor the ultimate candidate? Because he's got red hair underneath. He did have red hair.
I really want to see John Cryer with like the '90s Lex mane now.
Yes.
Oh, there's a flashback episode for Supergirl. Too bad we don't have time anymore.
Does it feel like this plot seems just a bit dragged out? Like it seems to be just
does. And honestly, when we got to the reveal this week, the big reveal, if you will, of Luthor / Marcus / what he ended up being, I was like, okay, can we get to now? Can we do the other thing? Like, can we, like, I want it. Can we go, remember those pods crashing down? Like, can we advance a little bit to that storyline? And part of that is, I think that 2-month hiatus if we were running up against, if 6 and 7 were running up against 1 through 5, I don't know that we'd feel as dragged.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it would have taken as much amount of time.
That's true. We did have that little bit of hiatus, so
little bit. I feel like this is season 2.
Yeah, that's true.
Jeez. If this was the fall of '85, we'd already been 2 months. We'd be back. Night Court would be back on. Make us wait to find out who shot JR. We'd be back.
Right. One thing I noticed when when I had the subtitles on in that last scene where Edge is talking to Leslie, and she's asking if he has all of his subjects, the word subject was spelled with a K instead of a C before that last C. And I do know that there's an episode title coming up in the future with the word subject with the K. I believe that has something to do with some comics lore. And I think our XK Colossus was billed originally as subject, and I forget what number 11 or something like that. So
I remember like a subject 17 that was like some kind of big. It was like Russian? Was it Soviet?
Yeah, it was some sort of like. I didn't want to dig too much because I didn't want to maybe spoil myself, but it almost seemed like it was some sort of like they were trying to create something that seemed very doomsday-esque.
Yeah, it was.
If you will.
It was very much. I don't know that he was even created. I kind of feel like it was not really Red Sun, but it was Superman. It was like the Russian, like he crashed in Russia.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I would have to do a little research on that. It's been a while, but I remember something to that. But that's been 20 years ago since that happened. Be an interesting development if that's what they're bringing into here.
Right. We did get I'm gonna have to do it myself. We did get a good to see you.
Good
from
to see you.
The candidates, the future candidate Emily to Lana. So I did have to scream that out on Twitter. But
you by the way, you were killing it on the Twitter. Apparently, everything you send me, mazel tov, just excellent. Good job.
Yeah,
good job.
I'd like to see our unfollow numbers, quite honestly. Some of the stuff I put out there. I do apologize. I love how Morgan tries to be like, oh, well, if you can't find anybody, I mean, Kyle needed a job, right? And she's like, don't pick Kyle. Morgan's like, I wasn't really going to pick Kyle. So that was pretty much it for that little section there.
Yeah.
And we'll see how that develops. The next plot is all about the boy Jordan, and
what a boy.
the cliffhanger we left off on, and what happened with because the episode ended last week with his skull, like from the X-ray, it looked like his skull was on fire.
With that phenomenal swoop and into the air, like that was fantastic. 2 sequences really good last week. I mean, several, but 2 CG heavy sequences. The train, obviously, at the beginning of episode 6 was incredible. But that shot of Clark scooping Jordan up and just going into the sky with him headed to the fortress was phenomenal.
And it was so powerful because it's Clark. He's not in his super suit, so
just the dad.
Just a dad trying to save his boy.
Right.
But we find out in this episode that it really is his super hearing that's kicking in. That's causing pain for him. I actually learned a new word from Jarrell this week.
Uh-huh.
His quote was, his auditory perception is causing an allodynic response. Until he can control what he hears, every sound will be accompanied by pain. And so I looked up allodynic. I'd never heard that word before.
So what's the definition?
It's basically you're getting pain from a stimulus that doesn't usually cause pain. I was thinking, the example I found was like, if somebody has a sunburn and you touch the sunburn, or if you pour water over a sunburn, like that usually doesn't hurt somebody. But since the sunburn is terrible, it causes pain.
So basically, Jor-El in this version of Jor-El is the architect from the Matrix movies, using his big words, and also reminds me of George Carlin from Scary Movie 3 portraying the architect from just constantly saying things like vis-a-vis, concordantly, making no sense whatsoever. Yeah, I was impressed with. Of course, we didn't actually see Jor-El this time. We just heard him. We just heard him.
They're like, we need you to do a couple lines. Just record it into your phone and send it on through. It's safer that way.
He's like, what's this A word? I don't know this word.
Man. But, hey, he's a scientist. Back off, man. I'm just saying. He can say any words he wants.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
One thing everyone's, I try to pay attention to the things that they're showing us, like little things. And one thing that they're showing us is the first thing we see Clark do when he gets to that console is he slams a key into it.
I'm so glad you said that. So not even just slams a key into it.
Yeah.
Along the side, puts the sunstone.
Right.
You try saying that 3 times faster than I. Sunstone. Tartlet. Words lost all meaning. You put the
allodynic.
You put thing bones connected to the fortress console. He puts the sunstone in, and all I could think of is old. Go ahead and drop a quarter in for me.
Oh boy.
Would you like to install Norton in the fortress? No. Would you? Where's that button? There it is. All right, got to turn that thing
on. But I'm like, okay, so maybe I'm assuming that that's just to show us that in the future, if somebody else tries to access that console, they're going to need that sunstone. So, I predict maybe even the person formerly known as the captain might actually end up showing up in the fortress and try to start some stuff.
Captain Luther will get you high tonight. And take you to his special RV. Dang it! I had a reference going, and then I went with another reference instead. That was a piss poor reference comparatively. Oh, have you seen sidebar, but still Superman related? So obviously DC is releasing Superman 78 and Batman 89. Have you seen this?
Yes.
Have you heard about this? So I saw my favorite Doc Shaner is doing art for one of the covers of Superman 78. And, of course, it's the classic Christopher Reeve Superman. But he's in the fortress and holding a crystal, and the reflection in the crystal is Brainiac. I got excited. I really want... Have they started releasing those comics yet? Not yet. Later this year.
Oh.
Coming soon to a comic
stand near you. If there's something to make me read comics again, it would be...
Yeah, right? Right? Mecha high, mecha hiney, mecha high, mecha hiney ho. Jor-El says his mecha. Say the word. I can't do it.
I don't have it in front of me, but I remember
he said it, and I was like, "Excuse me," and I rewound it back to hear it again.
That's right.
Mecha no sensations.
I'm assuming is a mechano sensations. Derek, what happens when your mechano sensations have become significantly enhanced? I'm just asking for a friend.
I think after 4 hours, you call your doctor.
Anyway, all jokes aside, Jor-El basically says, hey. Until Jordan learns how to control his super hearing, he's going to be in some serious pain. What if
Clark turned on the fortress? Hey, is Paul Lynde as Jor-El? Just Clark. Sorry, Kal-El. That would be fantastic.
And Clark actually mentions later that it took him about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. But let's assume for Clark that, I don't know, my assumption is things were easier for him. I think.
Well, I don't know. He didn't have a Kryptonian father to help guide him.
Unleash heat vision in. Well, he did. He had Jor-El.
I mean, he eventually did.
Eventually.
After he turned Martha into a bench.
Yeah. I was over on the bench. But here's also the thing. Clark started developing his abilities at a younger age than Jordan did. I don't know. I feel like you have the flu as a 2-year-old is a lot different than you have the flu as a 15-year-old.
Right, yeah. Kind of your mechanosensations are allogenic.
Ask your doctor if mechanosensations are right for you.
All right, so the super hearing...
Side effects include memory loss, diarrhea, memory loss.
The super hearing is really impacting Jordan.
Right.
And now he's got himself a fancy new set of soundproof headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he got those from the Fortress?
Those are Fortress headphones, baby.
Yeah, yeah.
They
should be more crystally.
They don't call it solitude for nothing.
I like this little moment where he's got the headphones on and Clark's like, Jordan, and let me tell you, my kids, they have the headphones on. Oh my.
Robin.
Hey.
Robin.
I am standing in. Can you please? Like, we have to beg them. Just remove one, headphone from here. Like, move it back a little bit.
Well,
let us in.
My daughter, my oldest, regardless. Headphones could be off, and it's still, Wesley. It's nothing whatsoever.
And so Clark gets his attention with a little bit of super breath, and Jordan looks a little bothered by this. Of course, he is in some pain.
Yeah.
My question for you, Derek, is what do you think Clark's super breath smells like?
Chew 5 gum. What I do now, I don't. When I bite into a York peppermint patty, I get the sensation of Kal-El's breath.
I think that's exactly what comes to mind. Like, because it's so cold, I think it smells like a York peppermint patty.
Yeah. Get the sensation. Yeah.
Or like Orbits.
What would you do for a York peppermint patty? A Klondike bar. What would you do for a Klondike bar?
I'd travel to the Fortress.
Would you?
Get them from the source.
Would you kill Captain Luther? Would you kill Captain Luther's wife? Well, I don't even want to talk about that.
Oh, no, we can't.
Listen, I'll go ahead and say, and just disclaimer, because I know we'll get to that part eventually. It took me out of the episode. It's the first thing in this show that I was like, no. We'll talk about it later, but it upset me. It upset me greatly.
You weren't alone. But back to the Kent boys. So as a result of Jordan's super hearing problem, he has to stay home from school, and Jonathan's got his own problems where, like, he's just basically lost his entire football dream, and now he's got to go cover up for Jordan yet again.
He's an angry young man.
He's getting angrier, I think. I think so. I mean, he literally, Jordan ends up eavesdropping on him and Sarah talking, and out of context, it sounds like they're really trying to get this love triangle they're trying to threaten us with this love triangle, but I still refuse to believe that it's going to happen.
Jordan's like, I'm moving out.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry.
Like I told Frank, that's Anthony's song.
In parentheses, still moving out.
So
you ought to know by now.
You might be right. So Jonathan gets flirted with by a young girl named Tegan, and Sarah immediately pounces and says, "Oh, that girl is out of your league."
Oh.
Now, is it because Sarah's jealous?
No.
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 Because
right?
No. Well, I don't know.
No.
She sure likes trying to discourage it, and I don't know.
No.
I think she felt bad when Jonathan was like, "Hey, and I broke my wrist,
broke my arm, but you don't seem to care."
But Jonathan actually loses it in this ep. After Jordan accuses him, he actually causes his brother pain by slamming that wall.
Yeah.
Hobbles him and then goes up the stairs.
Yep.
So
he didn't care for that.
Yeah. But we did have like one of the best. We won't get into the hows, but we did get, I think, one of the best quotes in this episode belongs to Jonathan.
I love Jonathan so. Like I was telling you guys on text, like it's just. I mean, it's Jordan's portrayal, obviously, of Jonathan that nails it. I mean, the writing is excellent, but it's Jordan. And I know that gets confusing, but the actor Jordan portraying Jonathan is just he's so likable, and you're just drawn to him every time he's on screen. Like his charisma, he's just doing a fantastic job with everything they throw at him. And
I think any normal teen would have lost it by now,
Yeah.
So that's something to be admired about Jonathan Kent, is that he's still there for his brother.
Any normal teen would have had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm. So that brought things to a screeching halt.
So you want to talk about the stranger now?
Yeah. I don't know if we want to say that chapter title, but I thought you'd enjoy it.
Well, I see that, and all I think about is the TV censored version of that. Have you ever watched Big Lebowski on cable? Oh, not on cable?
Why would I do that?
Yeah, I know. It's not. This is what happens when you, what John Goodman's line. This is what happens when you take a stranger to the Alps. So.
Well, actually, it's funny because that's really interesting, because I've really been digging Phoebe Bridgers' music these days, and her first album is called "Stranger in the Alps."
Nice.
Which is a joke on that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was a joke on the censored version. I thought she was censoring it for humor, but that's funny. Anyway.
Nice aside.
So I kind of combined all the flashbacks together so we can learn about, before we get into his identity. All right. He's John Henry Irons. Okay. So
what?
Well, we could talk about, and more importantly, what happened before he came to Earth Prime. Earth Prime is where we're at, right? Yeah.
The multiverse now remembered. Okay, so I want to jump ahead, and you may already have this, but here's my question.
Oh, go ahead.
In the first episode, or maybe in the second one, does he not tell Superman that his world is gone?
If he does, you could probably read that a different way.
Oh.
Because his world would be gone. Especially because I think what we're seeing here is part 1 of flashbacks, and next week we're going to see part 2 of flashbacks.
Well, what
because we don't
flashback's
see...
left? He leaves.
Hmm?
What flashback is left? He leaves.
Well, I did notice I was Scar tracking. Sorry, Scar
Wow,
tracking.
and you're gonna get mad at me for heart attack, and you, really? And you just pulled that
Well,
out
you're
of
coming
nowhere?
off like a big shot. So, no, I was watching John's Scar throughout. See, now we're going to get more confused. There's another John on the show now. There's Jordan who plays Jonathan.
Just call him Steel. Just call him Steel. It's fine.
Okay, so we see Steel from, what happens when the big attack happens, and he does not have a scar. He does not, and we go through, we see what happens, and what causes his anguish, and still no scar. But in the very last scene, when he's like, the ship's coming, I gotta go, I promise I'll be back, he's got the scar.
Yeah.
How did he get the scar?
You're
I have
right.
no idea.
You make an excellent point.
So that's a continuity error, or
you made two fantastic calls. One on the show last week.
So I made a call on the podcast, and I was joking because this episode is called Man of Steel, and slight spoilers for next week. The next week's title is called Holding the Wrench, and I was like, so what, is Steel coming on the show or something?
Way to go, Robin. Way to go.
He was already here.
I didn't hear the podcast until after I watched the episode, and well, as you're supposed to do. But no, wait, did I do it the other way around? No, I can't remember. Anyway, regardless, that's neither here nor there. I was shocked by your. No, I watched episode 7, and then I listened to the podcast. That's what it was. Right. Then I listened to last week's podcast, and I was like, what the? Like, really? And then also, in addition to that, I know we need to actually talk about for the uninformed who John Henry Irons is, and we'll get to that in just a second. But not only that, but then on Twitter, apparently, you made the call of the act that will not be mentioned, but we're going to have to mention. You called that Earth Superman killed Lois.
Yeah, because I was thinking, why else would he be this? And I'm sure lots of people watching are like, yeah, real safe bet, Robin.
Yeah.
But I assumed that something caused him to be this mad at Superman. It would have to be, killing his wife.
Yeah. I am not you want to get into it here?
Well, I was just saying, I did not feel good about it, about actually being right. And I did not feel good about basically seeing it. I mean, we see it about to happen, and then we saw Steel's reaction.
Enough. We saw enough. We saw too much. And I'll say this, I don't care. I've written for DC before. I loathe Injustice.
Okay.
Not in the world. Well, I mean, I loathe the Injustice in the world too, but the Injustice series, DC Comics, the catalyst that sets off the events of Injustice is Superman killing Lois.
No, Joker kills Lois, and Superman kills Joker.
No, Superman kills Lois. Joker.
Superman.
Joker douses Superman with fear toxin. With Scarecrow's fear toxin, and he thinks he's beating up Doomsday.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
and he's beating up his wife.
Yes, that's right. And he brings her up into space.
And he knocks her into space, and he kills her. And it was...
Yes.
I'm trying to remember now. It's been a few years. I think I wrote when I was at the newspaper, I think I wrote a column about it or something. It got shared around a lot. I was so mad at that. I was so just angry at that, and watching him a couple nights ago just raise up behind her as this Lois is a news journalist, is a TV journalist instead of print.
Well, Daily Planet is apparently a news station.
Right, but obviously that seems to be more her forte, and this one is in front of the camera instead of behind a typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stomach that. I can't. Even I know it's TV. It doesn't sit well with me, and whether you call it fridging her for the sake of enhancing the captain's storyline or what have you, it doesn't sit well with me at all, and I hated we saw as much of it as we did. I understand the reasoning, and you can say what you will about it and why it was chosen to go that route, and obviously it makes his plight so much stronger for wanting to kill this Earth Superman. And obviously there's still a lot of, as you said, we still got some flashbacks probably to address, because we don't know how he got to Earth. You want to know how we got to Earth Prime, and stuff like that. But I mean, obviously he had to have faced off. Why leave that Earth when that Superman killed your wife and come to this Earth to take down Superman? So there's more story there than what we know. I mean, you're right about that, definitely. But plain and simple, man, I just could not. It took me out of it. In what was a pretty good hour of television, it took me out of it for.
I can't find it, and there was somebody actually. Someone on Twitter, I'm assuming a listener, tweeted at us while live tweeting, and was just completely like, so upset. Like, why do they have to do that? Like, when they show this great couple and how well they work together and how much love they have for each other, and then to see that, even if it's a different Earth, it's just hard to see. And to this person, it seemed pretty unacceptable. So
it's unacceptable to me. I just couldn't. I don't know. But with that happening, by the time we got to the actual reveal, the twist, I was kind of iffy. I mean, I'm not going to stop watching the show or anything like that. Nothing like that. I felt like it was a. I mean, the show is called Superman Lois. It's a tough thing to stomach.
I thought,
and thank Christ Almighty they did not show. I mean, they showed too much in my opinion, but I don't know. I don't want to dwell on it too much.
I will say, I guess I didn't get as upset because I just see them as alternate universe Superman and Lois. If it was some sort of injustice thing where our Superman actually hurts Lois, even under some sort of weird mind control thing, or however they dupe him, that would be harder to see. I'm able to kind of divorce myself from this actually being, and honestly, I think I almost enjoyed it because it was such a horrifying and challenging image. Anytime the boy in blue is lit up in silhouette and you see his red eyes, it is really scary, because that is not what you expect from Superman.
I know, but why? I mean, he murdered her. It wasn't like she was in a building that got toppled that he took down. I mean, that would be one thing.
Yeah. Well, she did.
She gave away that it was kryptonite, and obviously he's got all these other superpowered beings, which is a lot of which is kind of ties into what's going on here on Earth Prime.
Yeah.
That Edge is creating these people, and Marcus / the Captain / Steel / John, whatever we're going to end up calling him. Good grief. I mean, I guess we got to call him John, and we need to talk about John Henry Irons, because we need to talk about the fact that that's a huge comic book character. I mean, Steel. John is he's a weapons guy, he's a tech guy, he's a builder, just like this guy. I mean, they kind of laid it all out there for us, and then that hammer comes flying into the scene, and you're like, "Holy crap!" It is.
Whoa.
I mean, he's even got a suit, in the first few episodes. Not that we ever expected that to be steel, but
yeah. His helmet wasn't molded to his face.
Yeah, and also more than that is our John Henry Irons, or Earth Prime's John Henry Irons, is dead. He died 6-7 years ago. They said, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that was another thing where I was like, "Oh, data!"
Right.
I got some more data.
So then my mind is like, okay, wait a minute. So at some point Lois also said that Superman fought Doomsday. So did the reign of the Superman happen? And it was John Henry, obviously not, because they would they would have recognized him. But
did you pause the screen when they showed his record?
I didn't. I saw him in his military photo, but I didn't see the dossier or anything like that.
Yeah, it said he was a specialist. He was the first class in counter insurgents.
Okay, I'll take it.
But one thing that I was wondering, since we have this I've been Superman for 20 years, is okay, what year is it then? Are we looking at the future? And according to that record, this is a verification that we are in currently 2021 in this show. I mean, some people are probably going, yeah, duh. But to me, it was still up in the air. Who knows?
Well, when you factor in Crisis, which we haven't really had to deal with until this episode, the original script had some references to it, and that didn't end up happening. So now it's been 6-7 episodes till we actually get some reference to the fact that the Crisis happened, and whether or not they remember the fact that they only had one son at one point and then had two and all that. I mean, we hadn't dealt with any of that. They've done such a good job of setting this show apart from the rest of the CW verse or the Arrowverse, what have you. Not only in terms of storytelling, but also in terms of effects and just overall scope. So...
And honestly, because of the Crisis thing is why I was doubting it was 2021, because, Crisis happened in this certain year, 2019? And then now they have teenage sons.
Yeah.
And I don't know, when he says boys, I'm assuming they're talking about baby boys, and they're not talking about...
No, I think they're talking about...
teenage boys.
I mean, Lois is out walking by herself. I think she's talking about teenage boys.
Interesting.
I mean, at that point, they might have been 13-year-olds or 12-year-olds, but I definitely think that they were grown by that point. I think that's why he was even more shocked. And obviously, for whatever reason, when the universe got rethreaded and Lois was brought back, who should have, in my opinion, been a Paragon. What is it? Was it you that said we made Batwoman a Paragon, and then she didn't even show back up on her own show? It's
that's too witty for me. Somebody else.
No, it sounds like you. It sounds like something you said. So, I don't know. It's obviously we're getting into too much of the minutia of things that the show is not actually going to address, but we kind of have to draw from it. But somehow... we got to quick call him Captain Luthor, because as we find out, the suit and the AI is what was intended for Luthor. And that's why she keeps referring to him as Luthor. He's John Henry Irons. I mean, that's through and through. Unless there's some other reveal in episode 8, which would be ridiculous. But obviously we see him up on the screen. We see his doppelganger from Earth Prime, who is dead. He is John Henry Irons. And John Henry Irons in the comic is Steel, who is a friend of Superman, who's a fan of Superman.
Yeah.
And like we said, advanced weaponry, mechanics, technological. I mean, that's how he builds his own suit. I mean, they say at the end, forged in fire, strong as steel. I mean, that's a big thing. I love Steel of all the when Superman dies. If you're not familiar, when Superman dies in the comics in 93, 94, the fight with Doomsday and the 4 horsemen, the 4 Supermen come forward. Superboy, the Eradicator, Cyborg Superman / Hank Henshaw, and then you've got John Henry Irons as Steel. really taking up the mantle in the face of Superman's death, and they were buddies. So it's an interesting twist.
He was inspired by Superman,
right?
And let me just read this quote from Wooly Parks. So many great articles out there, by the way. Check them out, people.
A lot of press done. Obviously, Craig at Krypton's site. I know interviewed him. Damien from TV Guide, former Starkville's House of L host, interviewed him. So
yep.
Definitely.
But he says, to be honest, I think Superman inspires him in both ways. So then the question is, what would John Henry do if Superman went bad? He would step up to the plate, because ultimately it's about a moral compass. Obviously, when we first met John Henry in the original comics, he was a hero from the outset. His moral compass, to me, is exact same as this one. We just see it from a different angle. We may see a different origin story, but at their core, they're the same guy. It's ultimately about protecting people and being selfless. I think that's a really big key, and I hope that comes through.
Same guy, different circumstances on a different Earth leads you down a different path.
Yep.
And faced with the death of your wife. No, we don't know. But the thing is, we don't know on that Earth why Superman went bad. I mean, obviously they were surprised by it because they're looking out the window. They're like, "What's Superman doing?" Like they were shocked by it.
Yeah.
And why does he have friends all of a sudden? Who are these black-clad friends of his?
Right. They all have capes. Mm-hmm. It's such a mind bender, and I can't wait for it to be explained, because it seems like this is alternate Earth, and also somehow Steel sees this as the future of Earth Prime, as if these caped people are the people that Morgan Edge is going to, infuse with XK.
So that begs the question: is that how it happened on that Earth? With the same series of events rolling out to lead to that? But obviously, there's a thing here that John Henry Irons doesn't get, because he was too close to Lois on his Earth to realize that. You don't get that with Superman when Superman has Lois. When Superman has Martha and Jonathan, when Superman has Lois, that's not something that, obviously, like in Injustice, she dies essentially at his hands. Yes, it was the Joker, and he goes back and kills the Joker, and it sets off this chain of events, turning him into this evil dictator. Mm-hmm. But when he's got Lois, I mean, Lois to Clark is Clark's Superman. I mean, that's the epitome of what holds him to a moral compass. I mean, everything is that the Kents instilled in him is breathed to life in Lois Lane. So when you've got that, it doesn't go that way. That we're not going to see him go that route. And Irons doesn't get that, obviously, but we do, which makes it a little more infuriating to have to sit through it and watch it.
I don't know. I'm just going to have to say I disagree, only because I think the show it might be hinting at something more happening here. We see Clark lose it last week when he gets shot with the kryptonite, and we see that there as like, so the show is just trying to parallel, like, yeah, Superman has his bad days too, and Jordan's going to have to pull himself together just like Superman does, because he's got the trust of the people, yada yada. But then here we are in the next episode, and Lois has to be like, hey, it's over, right when Clark is about to, or, Superman is about to lay a couple fists into John, right? Doesn't it seem like they're trying to?
They are, obviously, they're drawing parallels, but it's obviously, his kids were there, Lois was there, everybody was in danger. He was angry. I mean, he's going to protect the ones that he loves, no matter what.
Right, but it almost seemed like I really think they're hinting at, like, is it the XK that's causing him?
I don't know. I did not
lose his temper.
I did not like it, but I thought it was a little much. The John's flash to him in the black suit as he was encroaching upon him. Did you catch that?
Oh yeah, I thought you didn't like that. I thought that was cool. I was like,
I did, and I didn't. But okay, but so does that go back to your theory that they've faced off? Like,
Yeah, maybe he's remembering.
Yeah.
Because so I don't know.
It's almost like, my biggest complaint about Dawn of Justice is, and I know I've said this on the show before, the problem with Batman versus Superman. Sorry, both of you that love. Sorry, any of you that love Batman versus
Batman
Superman.
and Superman.
The problem with Dawn of Justice is not. I mean, editing was obviously the Ultimate Edition much better, but the problem with it is we all saw Man of Steel, and Bruce didn't. So we're all like the people in the horror movie telling Bruce, "Don't go in there." Like we have to sit there through the whole movie, realizing he's wrong,
right,
dead wrong, and it's frustrating to have to watch. On John's Earth, he's not wrong, but here he's wrong.
Right, but I don't know. Is he seeing a future of Superman possibly being possessed by XK, possibly being controlled by someone else, or possibly losing it? I don't know. And what would that? I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to see them say that it's because he lost it, because then it would totally denigrate all the work they've done in explaining anxiety and mental health issues that people have.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to go that way, but could it be a loss of control that pushes Superman over the edge? I don't know.
I mean, what do they say about Batman? He's always one bad day away from, from. I guess I have more faith in my Superman than that, and I love. I've really gotten emotionally invested in this Superman more than I really thought that I would, which is surprising. Mm-hmm. I love Tyler and Bitsy's performances in the crossovers, but they have just sold it on this one for me, and I've just been so into it. That seeing him in that black suit again makes me, when we saw him in the black suit in Elseworlds, that wasn't him. That was just somebody pretending to be him. Took up the moniker.
That was Faraday from Lost.
Right. Right. So, I don't know. We're left with more questions than we have answers for.
Oh, but that's great. That's great. I'm glad it inspires questions. Though.
Absolutely.
That's what makes me excited to keep watching.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of things I needed to mention also. Lois in her alternate Lois, in her closing speech on the Daily Planet television station, says, "Find it, Kryptonite. Find it so we can defeat him." So we can defeat them, and we must defeat them if we are to save humanity. For that is what separates us from them, our humanity. Meanwhile, over at Edge Corp, or Edge Entercorp, on the office walls, everywhere there are posters that say, "The future of humanity starts today."
I noticed that too.
So, and I'll just mention that scene one more time by just saying, like, one of the most moving moments in the episode was when she finished getting out her report. She knew what was going to happen, and she just stops and looks in the camera and says, "I love you both." So like, oh God. And Bitsy, just
you couldn't have broadcast that from the bunker you're in? You had to go up on a roof to do that?
I don't know. Maybe that was she had to jack into the only antenna left in Metropolis. To get the signal out.
I would like to know a time frame for those unfolding of events, because obviously, we also see. I also would like to know where that moment where Sam Lane dies falls into this timeline.
Yeah, exactly.
Of them in the trenches from the flashback at the end of the second episode.
Exactly. I always assumed, okay, so he's saying goodbye to Lois. his Lois and going off to war to fight Superman. But no.
Yeah. Lois is dead by that point. He's fighting alongside his father-in-law, assumedly.
Right. Okay, so...
But obviously some time had passed between the time they were in the apartment and the time they moved down into the bunker as well. So now what you need to do is you need to go back and watch the end of episode 2 and see if he has the scar during the
that
trench
would
flashback.
Make no sense because he doesn't have the scar as Lois, ultimate Lois is dying.
I'm just saying. Check it out. Check it out. Get your red yarn and start doing your beautiful mind thing, your Mohinder wall and figure it all out.
Mohinder. Oh wow, there's a name.
What do you do for the jar on that one? You just put a penny in, or was that like a half dollar?
Like an ethereal chime rings out, and the sun is eclipsed.
Yeah.
Okay, so Leslie, I also noticed, has we learned in this episode, has that same zero in hearing ability as Superman, which you heard the podcast, we were talking about that last week, that we noticed that he has super hearing, but they're really leaning on the idea that he can actually like think of somebody and zero in on them, just like Jordan like thinks about Sarah and zeroes in. Of course, he knows where Sarah is.
He knows she's at the school. He looks at the picture. He's focusing on her. I really loved and obviously they were fighting because of the whole Sarah thing. But Jordan starts having an episode, hearing everything. He hears his dad, and then them getting in the truck and going after him. That was a fantastic scene. Of Jordan telling him where to go, and he's like, I don't even know how to drive. Did he say Mom's car?
Yeah, he only drove Mom's car.
Oh, he only drove Mom's car. That's right. And they're in the Kent family trucks, or the Kent Farm family trucks. So
yeah, and that truck is wrecked. So
if you're just joining us,
question: does John Henry Irons use red kryptonite on Clark? Does he put red kryptonite in the headlight and shine light through it, causing the red sun effects? Is that how that works? I just didn't know.
I don't know. It's a good question because it wasn't just red sun, because he wasn't just depowered. He was obviously in pain.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot. There was more to it than just not having abilities. He was obviously
right. It stops him
hurting
in his
too.
tracks.
Yeah. Obviously, he's also. God, that hammer was cool. I gotta say,
it was cool.
Although it reminded me of the hammer bits he was wielding in Elseworlds.
Yeah, that's true.
Hammer of Destiny. That was the Book of Destiny. What was the hammer? I don't remember. But anyway, it reminded me of that.
Mm-hmm. Does the hammer and the glove give you invulnerability? How is it that John Henry Irons is hit with a truck, flies into some boxes, and is just sitting normally in his cell later in the episode?
I don't know.
Not in a body cast.
Did you see... none of that was CG? Did you see the behind-the-scenes footage of that?
Yeah.
The truck hitting the stuff. Wow.
So cool.
Just amazing what they do on here.
Yeah.
I also thought it was fascinating that Jonathan drug that hammer across the ground with his broken arm.
Oh gosh!
And picked that mother up and smashed it.
Yes,
that was great.
Go Jonathan.
That was great.
Mm-hmm. But that, like I said, Superman is about to clobber John, and Lois tells him, he's had enough. Stop. And they did show a little shot of all three of them, just looking at him like, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
like he describes it in the last episode to Jordan, like, oh, vaguely, like, oh, I had a bad day even tonight, but now they're actually seeing it. And then this brings in now the family dynamic has changed a little bit more because Clark's decided that the boys need to know everything that's going on now. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yes and no. And, we've also got, Sarah's starting to ask questions.
Yep.
And at some point, I think Sarah's going to find out Clark is Superman and not have to, and keep that from Lana and Kyle. I feel like that's coming.
I don't know. Would it be more interesting if Lana found out, like after all this time? And that's the reason what gets.
We've seen that. I'm neither.
Yeah, but we got to get that Clark Kyle Lana triangle going.
No, we don't. We already had to watch Superman kill Lois this week. I'd rather not watch a love triangle between. Yeah, no, thank you.
Hey, Lois gets to be the center of a love triangle that she doesn't know she's a part of. Maybe Clark can too.
That's a fourth dimensional triangle. You're not thinking fourth dimensionally.
So yeah, is it a good idea that the boys know everything? I feel like it's not. I feel like it's not. I feel like they, there's certain things that they should be warned about, like if there's an impending threat. But I don't know. But their excuse was, well, if they didn't know, they might not have been able to save Clark tonight. So
yeah. I don't know. I mean, Lois is right. We can't depend on luck. You would have died. He would have killed him. He would have killed him. And let's just say, pretty good plan. I mean, it was a pretty good plan, luring him in there.
Yeah.
And to almost kind of turn the dime on the whole villain monologuing thing too. The conversation between them, Superman realizing he's the stranger rushing in, and him knowing he was going to rush in. I mean, even the headlights of the RV. I mean, just the whole thing. Like it was pretty good. I'm still a little. I don't want to say I'm disappointed by the reveal because I'm not. It's a neat reveal. I love John Henry Irons. I'm a huge fan of Steel. Fan of Steel. But sorry, was not intentional at all. Heart attack. But. I was really kind of digging the Luthor thing.
How cool was it when Clark walks into that RV?
Oh, and she calls him Captain Luthor, and he turns.
He was like, "What?"
Yeah, he turns. Yeah, beginning to think your friend really is a Luthor. I loved the whole chase quote unquote scene, with him using his telescope vision. And or his macro vision, whatever you want to call it. It's my power. I'll call it what I want to. It's a Smallville quote. You can put a quarter in the jar. I really.
Oh, darn it!
Yeah,
that's one for me.
I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed that, but I was digging the Luthor thing, man. I was so.
Well, where were we going to go with that?
I don't know. Sky's the limit, man. I
guess the original plan was that this is a good Lex from a different world where evil Superman, and then before the scripts started actually getting written, was that Kramer? Before the scripts were starting to be written, the writer's assistant in the room, I gotta get
it was Adam. It was the bitter script reader on Twitter, I believe.
Bitter script reader, yeah. I always know him as bitter script reader, but I know from the articles his name is Adam Mellinger.
Yeah, good friend of Craig's over at Krypton's site.
Yeah, pitched that it could be Steel, as they were working on the outline of the first 7 episodes. So,
well, and it's interesting too, and it's something we've not really talked about on the show a whole lot because we've kind of just wanted to take the storyline of the show for what it is, but some behind the scenes drama, obviously, with production and discussing black actors and villains and stuff like that. And it ends up he's not one. He's not a villain at all. He's he's a good guy that lost his wife and is trying to make sure that what happened in his world doesn't happen elsewhere. And it's a character that we know from the comics and love. So it's an interesting take. It's an interesting spin. It was an out of left field twist a little bit, even though they did give us the breadcrumbs along the way.
Yeah.
But he ended up with so many different names. I was just good. I was like, pick one, pick a lane. Not Lois, but I was back and forth, and there's Luther, and then he was Marcus Bridgewater, and is that important to the storyline at all? No, it's not. But
yeah, nope.
What have you?
Again,
I don't know.
Okay, so what would have been interesting if he was Luther? Now, like, what do you think? Where do you think they're going to go now? Now that we have John Henry Irons on the show, I'm not sure, is Wooly Parks a featured cast member, or is he recurring? I'm assuming since he's got his own photo.
It's much harder to tell when you don't have true opening credits to a TV show.
That's true.
I believe he is recurring because I know in some of the official descriptions he is listed as also starring.
Okay.
So
yeah, it's like, where are we going to go with this? Is he going to end up? I mean, it's Steel. They're not going to just keep him as this like bitter antagonist. Eventually, he's going to come around. Maybe after they defeat Edge at the end of season 1.
I mean, let's team up. Look, I'm not going this route. Yeah. I understand, and of course, it's going to get even weirder when at some point he's got to reveal on my Earth Lois was my wife, and we have a child. Marriage. So there's going to be some tension, but also there's got to be. I'm just really looking forward to that conversation between the two of them next week.
Yeah, and for one thing, again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but some of the pictures from next week look intense. Another thing, Superman does say this to Rossetti, basically saying like, no one's going in there until General Lane is here. Mm-hmm. And when General Lane is here, I'm going to be the first one in there.
Where's
As if to say like, yeah, I'm going to need somebody I trust that's going to pull me out of there if it gets too intense.
Yeah.
So.
I also liked Lois calling Rossetti. I thought that was neat.
Yeah. Yep. And they dropped another character name from the comics. Rossetti says, "You want me to have Trask take a run at him?"
Wrong.
So
wrong comics, but yeah, I'm just kidding.
Well, Jason Trask apparently was on Lois and Clark.
I was thinking X-Men.
Bolivar Trask.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter Dinklage walks in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's another one of those people in that storyline, or at least related. Another person from the comics that's like military and wants to kill all the aliens. From the brief glances that, like, again, I'm trying not to spoil myself, so I don't want to read too much into what happened in the comics. So, Beppo sure came up with that info pretty quick. Is Beppo either A, being paid off, or B, possessed?
No.
Neither?
Neither. Sullivan's an idiot.
Sullivan is an idiot. And another question was answered this week that I've been annoyed about, or not annoyed by, but it's been bothering me. Does the captain / Steel know?
we gotta pick something. We gotta pick a name, even if it's our own made up name. We gotta pick a name. Captain Steel.
Does
Captain and Tennille?
The clues have been all there.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he knew.
Don't go breaking my RV.
Sorry?
Don't go breaking my RV.
Oh boy. Well, if anything, love can keep them together. When for better, where I call it Skeets sometimes. The AI.
Yeah.
asks like, "Oh,
Siri.
Should we be worried? This is Clark Kent being, and no, he's not a threat.
He's not a threat.
He's unimportant."
Well, so here's the kicker to that, and maybe it's because she's operating at 30%. Wasn't she tracking Kryptonian? Like, wasn't she tracking Superman at one point in an earlier episode when Superman was chasing Derek? Wasn't there some mention to her being able to?
That's true.
Maybe she's only since she's only operating at a fraction of her full capacity.
Right. Well, perhaps he should have considered that before crushing her into smithereens.
Yeah. I also just love the idea of Clark Kent traipsing around a Winnebago. I don't know why that's funny to me. Lois is like, you'll know when you see it. I'm like, it's a Winnebago. Everything's gonna be off in there. But
oh, I spotted Teague Hardware this week. I didn't see that sign before, but I think you mentioned it before.
What was that?
There's a sign, a business. I think it's right next to Victoria Mays. It's Teague Hardware.
Oh yeah, Teague Hardware. Yeah. Man, we are broke this week.
I know. Lois mentions a Maxie that she's talking to at Reuters.
Yeah, not to be confused with Mixie.
Do you know that reference?
Gossip columnist.
Yeah, apparently the Daily Planet. He's actually a guy that was on the show in the pilot. He's a bald guy with glasses in the Planet. But yeah, he was is a gossip columnist, and I saw he was the villain of the Superman musical. It's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman. I haven't seen that yet. So.
I'll lend you my DVD copy.
I'm not sure if I want to watch it.
Oh, you do. You do.
And of course we can't finish up without mentioning the fact that truck transporting XK had some backup.
Oh, yeah, it did. Jeez.
Suddenly just left on top of a mountain. What the hell?
That's probably fine. Yeah.
So funny.
I love that his abilities are used in comical ways, but also, I don't know, they've done things that I've just really enjoyed that you're not used to seeing in a live action Superman property.
Yeah.
With the way he handles things. And I've enjoyed that from week to week.
Oh, another thing I noticed, when Jordan is focusing on the clock says made in Canada. Just like the show.
Just like the show is. But you don't have to take my word for it. But
I think I've covered all my notes. Do you have anything else you wanted to?
We jumped around a little more than I intended, and I apologize for that because you do such a fantastic job of laying this out. But you really do. I mean, you really just do an amazing job. Although the letters X and K next to each other look very weird. It throws me off a little bit. I'm just interested to see. We didn't even get to talk about Nat, really. Lois and John's daughter.
Mm-hmm.
But interested to see what happens because we did talk about the Forged in Fire, Strong as Steel, but he tells her I'll be right back, and then he didn't.
Never say that.
Yeah. I'm just going out for cigarettes. I'll be right back. It's what my dad said.
Again, he knows Superman's real name is Kal-El, and we also hear him speak in Kryptonite this week.
Kryptonite and Kryptonian, maybe?
Kryptonian.
Yeah. Which we've only heard a few times on Supergirl. So I remember El Mayara, Stronger Together.
Oh yeah.
And there's another one which was really good. I even thought about maybe getting it as a tattoo at some point. There's something like To Be Continued, but I don't remember what the Kryptonian for it was.
Woolley Park says in one of these interviews, he says, I don't speak Kryptonian. I reached out to the assistants and was like, can someone send me a version of this so I can hear it phonetically? It had to sound believable. I wanted it to feel natural. And and the writer Jai Jamison said, "I pitched speaking in Kryptonian a lot. The idea was that the Kryptonians took over John's Earth, so he learned their language the way that a lot of people in Prague know Russian because of the occupation during the Soviet Union."
Dude, yeah, I love that.
So I don't know if he's unintentionally spoiling things, but it seems like this is some time passes after Superman starts lighting up the city.
Well, I mean, that's what we have to assume from Natalie and Lois and John moving down to the bunker, from the trench wars. I mean, there's more to it than just, we didn't go on the attack on the defense and then try to jump Earths the next day. I mean, more happened there.
And they're definitely taking away the idea that, see, I keep going, oh, this is like Terminator. So he's gone back in time to stop this from happening. But no, in his Earth, he is married to Lois and has a kid.
Right.
Right.
That's what some people were thinking by the end of episode 2, remember? When they saw that, and then Sam ends up dying, and they were like, "This is the future." Like, no, it's not. No, this is a different Earth. He says it's a different Earth.
I mean, if anything, if Lois ended up leaving Superman because he's evil and ends up with John Henry Irons, I'm assuming Lois would be more upset about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be so happy in bed with him.
Right. No, this is a different Earth, and we can pick apart the dialogue from the first 2 episodes of what the captain says to Kal-El, but somehow he got to Earth Prime, so in that ship. Whether or not it was Luthor's ship or what have you, but remains to be seen.
Oh, and I think this is my last note. The fact that Steele asks Lois, "Do you trust Superman?" And she says, "With my life."
Yeah. I thought, and he's like, I thought you'd say that.
Haunting.
That is rough. Does that do it for us?
I think so. I think we got everything.
So we got a couple emails. Read those really quick. One this week is from Rachel. Rachel says, "I know other people will probably ask this, but what are the best Steel John Henry Irons storylines to read to get to know the character? Also, it made sense for there to be a reference to a Sullivan family, I think in the last episode, because Chloe was mentioned in season 3 of Supergirl in the Midville episode." Thank you, Rachel. We talked earlier about the death of Superman. Obviously, big implications there with John Henry Irons. Following the events of the return of Superman, Steel got his own storyline. In fact, I recently, oddly, just bought the entire lot of Steel comics. I think there was like 42 issues or something like that. So check those out. In that he lives in Washington, D.C., and it's a great story. And I strongly recommend that if you've got DC Universe. I assume they're on there. I don't know that for certain, but I would think so. But yeah, look for that. Steel. It's just called Steel. And obviously the death of Superman is a great introduction to the character, but that definitely continues his storyline after that. Not as a Superman archetype, but as a hero in his own right. And then Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Excuse me. Sorry, I know you need to go to bed. Chris says, when Lois discovered who, quote-unquote, Marcus was, John Henry Irons, she immediately reacted. As a non-comic reading fan of the show, I had zero concept of why this name was significant. I feel like this should have been more exposition about why she recognized his name. Did their Earth's version attack Superman in the between years from the collapse of the multiverse to now? I felt like the show could have done a better job of giving even the slightest exposition about why he was notable to Lois, unless maybe I missed it. On the whole, it felt like, as an audience, we were immediately meant to understand who John Henry Irons was, and I just didn't. I went back and watched after reading your email, Chris. I did not feel like she reacted, other than the fact that she reacted to the reveal of somebody back from somebody who's dead is alive and well and poking around in Smallville and trying to kill Superman. And we've obviously dealt with dead people we thought that were dead in recent episodes coming back, like Derek Powell and stuff like that. So I just thought her reaction was more, okay, we know who this person is now, and no good can come from this. Obviously, he's dead, and so we've got to get moving. And honestly, I hope next week there's some exposition from Sam Lane about Earth Prime's John Henry Irons.
I really thought she was like, "Oh, it's a trap." You're like,
that's all I thought too.
He's a liar.
Yeah, that's all I thought too. Obviously, we knew he was lying about his name from the get-go of this episode, but I didn't think she recognized the name. I thought she recognized Something Smells Rotten in, Denmark. But for the uninitiated, as like you said, as a non-comic reader, somebody who didn't know the name, I guess the hit, the moment, the punch, whatever you want to call it, the twist, if you didn't know, it might have fallen. It may have fell a little flat for you. Those of us who knew, obviously, it was a huge deal. You called it last week, jokingly. So it was a big moment for comic book fans, definitely. I think you'll. I don't know if you'll uncover more of that next week or not. I definitely think that name is synonymous with. To me, when I think of John Henry Irons, I think of the death of Superman. That's tandem to me, because he was one of the four that came into their own as protecting Metropolis and the world greater at large in Superman's death following his battle with Doomsday in the streets of Metropolis. So. I don't know. What do you think on that? Do you think it was not as impressive if you didn't know who he was?
I suppose if you didn't know who he was, you might, you might not. I mean, even I, who knows who he is, but I was more like, okay, so what's going on here? What is this? Is this the same person? And then it is cleared up that it's this that he was killed on this earth. So,
and then some of us who have spent the last few weeks writing a steel pitch were like, "Mother bleeper." So it was interesting. The episode all around, from having to watch Lois die to having to watch your script die. It was a fantastic hour of television.
Well, you should put Batman in it. It'd probably get cleared that way.
Sell that immediately.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good My Little Pony pitch, but you know what it needs? Batman. So we are online. You can visit us, supermantvtalk.com. Email us your thoughts, supermantvtalk@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter @supermantvtalk or on Instagram at the old Starkville House of L, all one word there. And follow us on your favorite podcatcher, whatever that might be. We'd love for you to rate and review on Apple Podcasts. Obviously, that's where a great number of people find us. We're also on Spotify. I am running out of voice tonight, and I do apologize for that. Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are available. And thanks, as always, to Craig from Krypton Site and K-Site TV and @Superman Lois TV on Twitter for providing us great information to go week from week. We will be back for spoilers, right? You got spoilers for us, Robin?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Robin's the man. I don't know if you know this or not, but Robin he's my sugar bear. He knows what he's doing. So, sugar bear. You can tell it's late when I'm saying things like sugar bear. All right. After the music, come back for spoilers if you want to find out more about episode 8, Holding the Wrench. If not, we will see you next time because
we're always
around. I even set us up for it and still felt miserable.
Good night, Frank.
Good night, Grace.
think I'll turn on humanity?
Our worlds are different. Our Superman would never turn on us.
I was 1 second away from being dead. What happened on my world is already happening on this one.
And we're back for spoilers, and this is actually, we do have, again, 2 episode descriptions. I read the one for Holding the Wrench last week, but if you didn't hang tight for the spoiler section, maybe this description and some of the trivia that follows might ring a little bit more interesting now that we know some of the revelations. Holding the Wrench, the description is reality. Clark encourages Lois to reach out for help after noticing her reaching a breaking point. Interesting. Meanwhile, Jonathan finds himself in a dangerous situation. Lastly, Kyle encourages Sarah to audition for the musical review at school.
On a very special Superman and Lois.
And mentioned that EW Roundtable. I again think it's worth a watch. If you want to kick around for 40 minutes and hear your favorite cast talk about their show, it's still good. Wooly Park said he was surprised at some of the complex issues this show deals with, especially in what's coming up in episode 8. And Bitsy says it's an extremely emotional episode for Lois. That's referring to the whole breaking point it seems that she's gone to. And they were still calling it the Luther storyline, but they say this episode ties together the Luther storyline, but also why she is so fiercely protective of her sons. And it even mentioned a Lois and Jonathan team up and having people with no powers getting stuff done.
My reaction to that is obviously it will come to fruition learning that the Lois of that Earth was married to John. And having to deal with that, having to cope with that. I mean, having whatever, and that Superman of that Earth killed her. I mean, I feel like that's a powerful thing. So,
some of the not behind the scenes, but some of the episode stills for next week's episode show a little bit of Superman kind of losing it at the DOD, and General Lane pulling a pistol, assuming on him, but maybe on John Henry Irons, and also Lois is there too, looking pretty anguished. So some drama is going to happen there. And then we have the description for episode 9, which is Loyal Subjects with a K. Details: Lois, Chrissy, we call her Beppo, and Clark team up to piece together the significance of Smallville to Morgan Edge. And that's all we really get for that
one sentence. One sentence.
Plus, Jordan picks up a paper route. I made that
up. You can't make me laugh that much. The way my throat is right now. Oh, gosh. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Man. Ooh, what was that? Man, I thank you. Always a pleasure talking to you. Getting to record with you. So, awesome. Be back next time for Holding the Wrench, and we will see you then. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Ned.
All right.